Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, July 18th. Looking at Window Traders market profile of the ES and NQ. Well, again, we always talk about if you have range, you're going to have volatility. And we did. Not good volume again, only about 50 million. Still way on the average that keeps coming down. But we will take range over volume any day. Some issues for the bulls. But again, I think in the bigger picture, so far it's healthy. We'll go over that. First, let's start with righty. Righty ends up finally back in balance on the daily. Okay, I'd probably call it a 4-day balance. I'd use Monday's low since they got into Monday's range. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4-day balance. They took back one of the gaps. They still have two more. And they go out with a trend day down and an afternoon rally high in H. Now, their volume, still 51 million. So again, the question is, are some of these longs getting out? I don't think so. I still don't think so. I still think as it's pulling back, there's some long-term money still absorbing this. They're still healthy on the monthly and weekly. The daily is in balance. NQ is balance on the weekly, down on the daily. We go out with a double distribution day, one set of single prints that hold, an 8-wide POC, and they lost their afternoon rally high late in the time frame. By the way, I could have had an incredible trade when it got up there. I did short it at 52, and I was like, what am I doing? I never trade M period, because you could just sense, and this is what people don't understand, with MGI still so in favor of the bears after a day like today, that the odds of it really going and taking back the whole trend day were not good. Well, I took like 3 points out of it, and then it ripped down 60. Look where they closed, above the weekly low of June 24th and the rollover gap. They still have that. ES goes out with a double distribution day down. 2 sets of single prints. Now, the real important thing now in ES is the daily is now down, and the weekly is now balanced. So we've caught up to what NQ has done. Also, we took out last week's high and last week's low. So depending on what happens tomorrow at the close, we have a potential outside week down. This was an incredible miss on my part, as H period got up there for their afternoon rally high right to the last week's low and then rolled over. I didn't take one in H either in NQ because at the time halfback was high and I was looking for that. Got a little picky, and rightfully so. I had a really good day today, and it all occurred basically in the first 4 time frames. Now, actually, my first trade of the day was a loss. I took a long in ES against both yesterday's POC and the overnight POC. I took a 2-lot. Right away, I made 9 points off of one. I held the other one. Should have took them both off and made money. But instead I held it and it came in pretty good. I gave back the money I made and ended up losing 9 points total. Nothing big, but should have done that, but I didn't. After that, started banging them around pretty good. Started shorting NQ to go get the overnight low, and then once they did, ebb and flow trading on the short. Especially where their value went from overlapping a high to unchanged pretty quickly. And then we ended up obviously lower on the day. In B period, I was shorting NQ against the 144 when it pulled up. Then I took a long. I took a long in ES. I took a long in ES because ES was one time framing up. I didn't think they were going to go trend up. I only made a 1.5 on it. Could have made actually 4 points on it. I really wasn't expecting them to go trend. So when I bought it, I'm like, well, I'm going to take it off around A's high, which I did. And that only gave me a 1.5, but I could have made more on it. That was the only trade I took in ES. The other trade I should have taken, without a doubt, was a short here. Now, halfback was not there at that point. We made lower lows, but a very visual area against last week's low. And I guess I could have taken the heat up to C's singles. That was another 7 points, but even if I took a 1-lot, and I could have added at the single print fill, but I didn't. So where did I make the majority of my money? C period and NQ. Took short to break the IB low. Then it started ripping, so any ebb and flow short, I was jumping on because they had the overnight low, they had the IB low, we were below the opening, we bought value to overlapping to lower. Actually, I'm not sure if value was overlapping low at that point. Might have been unchanged. So it really did well in C period. Then also in D period and E period, also on the short side in NQ. After that, I didn't do anything to G period. I thought it could be the afternoon rally high. So when they filled the single prints in C, shorted it, did get paid on it. H, like I said, at that time, they actually raised their point of control NQ. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. That's why I was waiting for H to get to half back if it was. Never did. Again, half back was higher at the point. Plus, I'm in, it looks closer than it really is. I'm in 8 tick increments. So I never did it. And then the last trade I took was that trade in M, which paid me very, very small, but could have paid me a lot more. I'm not going to go over the destinations in ES because I put it in big increments. I'm not sure if they would be right. Okay? But in SPY, since I still have SPY in ones, I'll do those. Give me a second. So SPY's high today is 559.52. Single prints 557.15 to 557.71. The second set is 554.96 to 555.64. So they're both decent size. And then we have today's low of 550.43. Now, let's go to the charts. And also, we're below, I believe, the 20-day moving average. So first, let's go to the weekly in the S&P. All we are is in a 2-week balance so far. We'll see if we'll call a 3-week balance after tomorrow. Is it a disaster if we have an outside week down? No. Look at what we've done since October 30th of last year. Look at this migration straight up, basically. Balance down, up, balance, up, balance, up, balance. There's nothing wrong if this market comes in some more. I told the room, coming into the balance, I don't have a problem with that. You want to see how you come out of the balance. Now here, when we came out of this balance to the downside, it was a pretty good week down, right? They knocked it down pretty good. But that was it. It was really only for 1 week. And then we started right back up. So we want to see, first off, how big the balance is going to be in ES and how we come out of it. I don't have a problem if we come out of it and go down to here, right? You have these 3 lows that are all fairly close together. So maybe you get some really good sideways action. Remember I had said earlier? We talked about this last week. So I don't have a problem if we get down to 550 or 540, right? Well, I still don't. So we'll see if that happens and get some nice balance eventually down at this level. On the daily, and make it healthier, going up to try to get 600 and 6,000. The daily's down. We closed above the 20. It's the first time we traded at the 20, though, since June 4th, so a month and a half ago. We spent 4 days back at that point, back and forth through it before we started up, balance, and the whole migration again. So are we going to have some trouble now for the next 4 or 5 days? Maybe even longer. It's possible. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Shake out the week longs. So we're in decent shape. The monthly's up. The weekly's balanced. The daily is down. I would be a little concerned if the volume was incredibly heavy. Yesterday's volume on the gap down was 57. Today on the trend day down, it's 53. Now I know there's still the 55 actually. I know, and we have to 8 o'clock. Our average volume just keeps going down and we can't even get to it. If the volume was 120, 130 million to the downside, I'd be a little more suspect as, hey, maybe there is some long-term money selling this. That is not the case at all at this point. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. Hope you had a good day trading. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.